Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota, the chairwoman of the Senate Rules and Administration Committee. And Senator, explain to us what you're doing, because I think a lot of people, part of the anxiety that people who are worried about our democracy feel is a sense that Democrats seem a little bit calm about it. And we're definitely not calm out here.
I'm not calm, Joy.
Good. Okay, so tell us what you guys are doing.
Well, I just see the evil out there and what they've been doing all over. As you point out, over 20 of these laws have actually passed. And I think we got to do something about it. And what I loved about your lead-in is just all the action happening right now to mobilize people, to get them to vote. And so what I'm doing, for the first time in 20 years, the Senate Rules Committee is going on the road, and we're getting out of this building and going to where the people are and hearing exactly what's going on in a state like Georgia, where they literally passed a law that banned volunteers from giving out water and food to people who sometimes have to wait in line for hours and hours and hours in the hot sun. And we're going to hear about what they did to mess up and try to limit early voting, just like what you just heard about in Texas, where the governor just today announced action on July 8th in Texas after those brave legislators tried to stop it. So this is just the beginning. Our party was united yesterday, and the Republicans stopped us, not just from discussing this. We couldn't even debate it, not for a week, not even for a day. They stopped it in its tracks, and we've got to bring our case to the people and let them hear from the people.
So I know that Senator Joe Manchin has his own version of a voting rights bill. Some people love it, some people don't love it so much. But that is, in theory, the next bill that could end up getting onto the floor. Ron Brownstein tweeted this today, that Jeff Merkley has said that there's no guarantee of success, but Senate Democrats do have a plan of what comes after GOP blocks this first debate. Senator Jeff Merkley said they'll quickly negotiate a new voting rights bill centered on Manchin's plan that all 50 Democrats back, and then see if any, much less 10 Republicans will sign on. My guess is no Republicans will sign on to that, okay? Let me just let y'all know in advance they aren't. Have you discussed with Senator
That's why people watch your show, Joy. That's why they watch your show. Thank you for that insight.
No, absolutely. Yes. But the reality is, shouldn't Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema, who I don't know if they're on your committee, are they going to go on any of this trip? Because it seems to me that it might be helpful for Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema to hear from the people that you're going to hear from.
Okay, well, let's step back about the Manchin proposal. And first of all, what we voted on yesterday was to move to a debate on the bill. Yep. He's done some good faith work, and I know Stacey has told you about this, including now, including same-day registration in his proposal, along with the early voting, the 15 days of early voting, and a number of other things. There's clearly still language that has to be worked out, and we're continuing to work with him. So that's really important to know, his good faith effort. From there, we have to figure out a way to get this done. And I believe in abolishing the filibuster. I've come to that belief after seeing years and years of obstruction on everything from immigration reform to climate change as we're heading into this hot summer, as well as voting rights. But even Senator Manchin has shown a willingness to talk about the standing filibuster and other ways you could do this. So I haven't given up on any of that, especially when it comes to voting rights.
So that is actually kind of hopeful, because if I know that there is the former Senator Al Franken is part of an effort to come up with things like having 41 votes to hold a filibuster, having people hold the floor. Are those conversations going on in the Democratic caucus, including Manchin and Sinema, to say maybe we add some of these things so they can hang on to their precious filibuster, but that at least it would be more realistic than trying to find 10 Republicans to do anything?
Exactly. I just don't think that's realistic when it comes to voting rights, and I want to make that clear. It may be on other things, but they, instead of, changing their candidates or changing their views on issues or changing how they talk to people, they double down on it, and now they're saying, well, we want to change the voters. In the words of Reverend Warnock in his maiden speech, some people don't want some people to vote. So the answer to me is look at these Senate rules, figure out what we can do to move ahead. And as Senator Schumer has said many times, failure is not an option. But the exciting news for me from listening to your program is that there is so much work even outside of us taking our Rules Committee out on the road and continuing this push to get this done, that there's organizing, including organizing to get people to register already for the next election that's going on right now. And that people should view that as progress and excitement and not give up on the work that must be done.
Well, you can get an amen on that. It's not Sunday, but you can get an amen on that. We cannot give up. Our democracy is too important. Senator Amy Klobuchar, please keep in touch with us as you get out on the road. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Really appreciate you. Cheers. All right. Well, joining me now is Arizona Secretary